Hello, this is Milan back for my week 3 vlog for our course in producing the high school play. This week's readings included chapters 14, 15, 17, and 18 of Catron's Director's Vision and chapters 4 and 5 of Andrew Baughman's Guide to Producing a School Play, Hey Kids, Let's Put on a Show. These readings provided a lot of insightful information, so I will try to keep my thoughts succinct this week. However, there was a lot to explore in these readings. Chapters 14 and 15 of the Director's Vision are about working with actors. Each chapter tackled different aspects of working with actors. The 14th chapter started with an outline. To directorial responsibilities, including establishing a creative atmosphere, setting goals, and cultivating discipline. I thought it was really important that the text outlined that a director should be leading by example, especially with things such as promptness and setting goals. The chapter does emphasize that a successful production must have a director that can manage a rehearsal schedule in a business-like manner while providing meaningful goals and feedback in order to make ongoing adjustments. Again, flexibility is something that is really stressed in this book and for directors. The 15th chapter was more about working with actors in a way that supports their characterization and developing their acting skills. Though I am a tech professional, I have had the opportunity to coach some students with props and how to interact with different set pieces. For example, with Little Shop of Horrors, I had to instruct actors on how to wear the second pod costume. I had to instruct, for example, for Little Shop of Horrors, I had to instruct the actors and the crew on how to operate the pods. I enjoyed this chapter's outline of the steps on how to help actors analyze their character, and I think that there were a lot of really great tools that can help directors support actors in character analysis and building. I appreciate that Catron mentions Stanislavski, but does not say that his teachings are the only directorial path. He actually provides lots of different tools, including the James Lang theory as a tool. I enjoyed the emphasis on the director's responsibility to help actors find the tools that work for them, and then providing those meaningful criticisms to help them adjust over time. Chapters 17 and 18 of the Director's Vision examined blocking. The 17th chapter started by defining movement and really contextualizing it in a theatrical way, which I do think is a really good thing to start with when you are talking about movement While the text does offer the option The chapter outlines that movement attracts audience attention and should be driven by character motivation. As the director, you may choose to block privately. However, most of my personal experience is with spontaneous blocking, just because I don't get to really work with actors as a tech director until tech week and the set pieces and the props start falling into place. After set pieces are built and begin to fall into place, then we'll make those adjustments. It's rarely necessary that we have to make drastic changes, of course. However, our team is always willing to be flexible, of course, in order to produce the best show that we can. The The 18th chapter continues to discuss blocking, but actually provide the eighth. The 18th chapter provides a lot of great diagrams, and Chapter 18 discusses the more technical side of blocking and provides several diagrams, which I found to be useful. I really enjoyed the staging scenarios that were presented in this chapter, and I found myself reflecting on past productions that I have worked on, thinking about the blocking that I liked, maybe a couple things that didn't work from time to time, and some of the most aesthetically pleasing scenes from these productions included things like counter movements, crosses, and other things that are mentioned in this chapter. I really liked the comparison of the proscenum arch to a picture frame. That really stuck out in my head, and this is actually a technique that I use when drawing out scene concepts. Sometimes after I go see a show, I will have a set or a scene that is really stuck in my head, and I will come home and draw it like a picture. I really enjoy building depth with scenery and love blocking that breaks the curtain line. For example, one of my favorite things that I was reflecting on was our production of The Addams Family a couple years ago when Gomez is singing the song Trapped. Our director chose to have him kind of run out and do a curtain line cross. And he's sort of running as they're pulling the main curtain closed. And at the end of the song, he is trapped on the other side of the curtain while the family is, behind the main. So I do think that that technique can be used effectively, though it should be used sparingly. As always, Baughman's guide to producing a play was very direct and had great suggestions. Chapter 4 of producing a school. Chapter 4 of his guide to producing a school play examined the rehearsal schedule and gave a really good suggestion. Chapter 4 of his guide offered a rehearsal process, which doesn't really deviate too much from the process that my team goes through. For our current production of Cinderella, we have had a few dance rehearsals, and students have been learning blocking as well as the music. We are working on set pieces, so all of these things are falling into place as Baughman suggests, in the order as well. In a little over a month, our students should be off book. That there is a hard date for that already built into our calendar, and so we are just building, and the crew is working to get ready for Tech Week. So overall, our process does not deviate too much from Baughman. The pro tips provided in Chapter 5 I thought were very cute. I currently work with high school students, so the tips about high schoolers were what resonated most with me. I like that Baughman suggests balancing being serious drama students with the camaraderie of building an ensemble. And I think at this point our program does have a really good balance of kids that are working together to put on this production. So those are my thoughts on the week. Again, lots of great things, lots of great diagrams this week, so a lot that I could talk about.